Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble Heroic Molten Core guide, I'm going to take a deep dive into Golemagg. I've been testing Golemagg for a couple of days now, mostly with Jaina, also on another account with a little bit lower levels. And some conclusions, well, I haven't found a reliable way to do Golemagg with level 25 minis, which is a huge jump in difficulty, of course, because normal Golemagg, the normal 28 Golemagg used to be doable with level 23 minis. But 25 seems a little low, 26 a little lowish, 27 and we're in. 26, 27, somewhere around there is where you can start doing Golemagg, and at those levels the best leader for Golemagg is Jaina. After a lot of testing and almost 20 kills of Golemagg, this is my general purpose Jaina army for Golemagg. So I have Jaina here. As a tank I'm using Harvest Golem with the stun talent. Then I have Priestess with the shield. I have Eclipse, which gives bonus levels. Then I have Plague Farmer with Splashing Pumpkins. I have Skeleton Party with Ritual of Rime. And I have Starfall with Moon Fury talent. Ignore the incorrect bonus slots in this one. That's because I've been doing different comps and I have them. I will show you soon. So you can buff all of these minis with Jaina. So this I think is the optimal general purpose comp, because with Harvest Golem being a pretty strong tank, I still like the ghoul that I used originally, but I needed the tank to be in an alliance slot, so Harvest Golem became the natural tank. Then Priestess, Harvest Golem Priestess, you can actually tank hounds quite well, and you can tank all sorts of threats and keep your tank alive for an extended period of time. And then you can get Plague Farmer behind it. And Plague Farmer, because Splashing Pumpkin's radius is so huge nowadays, means that Plague Farmer behind your tank is going to kill the Pyromancers. It's going to kill the Firehammers. They're going to shoot at your tank, and Plague Farmer is going to kill them with the splash, even though it's actually hitting the enemy tank. So this combo is just super strong against all sorts of ground minis. Then I have Jaina as pretty much the only thing that can shoot down drakes. So shooting down drakes are always a concern with this, but shooting down them is possible. And then I have the Ritual of Rime Skeleton Party. I want 2 to 4 sets of skeleton parties besides my base, so that they will defend. They are the defense against Earth Elementals. And I have also experimented a lot without any skeleton parties, and I have found that skeleton party is the single mini that really improves the win rate, so it's super important. However, technically you only need one player to bring it. One player can put all the skeleton parties you need. So if you're doing this in a co-op, so that with known partner, then only one can bring the skeleton party and the other one can use that slot for something else. And then I have the Eclipse and the Earth and Moon, so this is only being used for Starfall, with the idea that I'm going to play Jaina. Then I'm always going to use Eclipse to kill casters, Pyromancers or Firehammers. Every time it's typically the Moon Fury that's in there, and every time I'm just going to try to kill Pyromancers or Firehammers. This would need to be a level 28 together with the Jaina buff, so 31 overall in order to kill a Firehammer. This 27 that I have here is actually not enough to kill a Firehammer, you know, with Jaina buff. And pretty much any level is enough to kill the Pyromancer. Pyromancer has much less health. And then Jaina, kill some casters, find caster somewhere on the map, kill it, and then Starfall the boss. And that's the idea. You Starfall the boss when you have a good opportunity, because defense is important as well. If everything goes really smoothly, then you're able to do Starfall so quickly that you actually kill the boss already by the time the first Molten Giants reach your base, pretty much. And if you're doing a little bit less well, then overtime is your friend. Because in overtime you will have enough gold to both defend and then drop those Starfalls on the boss. So then you will still be able to kill it there. Well, what about some variants? So, for example, if you're playing with someone and they already bring the Ritual of Rime Skeleton Party, then I have been using this. So then I have been bringing Defies Bandits, because Defies Bandits can ambush and kill a Pyromancer. You just need to send them early enough so that they will stun the Pyromancer before Pyromancer shoots at the skeleton party and kills it. So some time is necessary. Also, when Earth Elementals arrive, you can drop these, they will stun the Earth Elemental, the skeleton body will kill it before it gets to hit the base at all. It's a little tricky to stun the Fire Elementals, because when Fire Elemental swings, it's an AoE swing, so it will kill the Defies Bandits. But if you can send them so that they reach Fire Elemental before Fire Elemental is in melee range of anything else, then they will stun the Fire Elemental as well. And they can stun Molten Giants, they can stun Gorehounds. Just generally super useful mini. And sometimes they are even able to pick up a chest or something. Of course, I'm using the poison talent here because I really want them to deal damage, so I'm not getting extra gold from the chest, but still picking those up sometimes is nice and cheap mini so that I can cycle, and get those Starfalls out there. Well, the next question might be, okay, I don't have Starfall. What do I do then? Well, I also have an alternative for that. This is actually the latest that I played. That's why the bonus slots are assigned for this one. So in this one, the damage to the boss is going to come from Ritual of Rime Skeleton Body. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a Quillbore next to the boss, and then the boss is going to start hitting that, and then I will play Skeleton Body behind the boss. And the Skeleton Body is going to deal damage. The downside is that this approach will deal significantly less damage than Starfall, because Starfall gets all those bonus levels from Jaina. So you will need a bit higher level Skeleton Body. Like with this one, it's actually really difficult to deal enough damage to avoid a draw unless your partner also does stuff. But sometimes I'm teaming up with, for example, a Jaina that has Starfall and they sometimes are really aggressive. Then this comp allows me to do really nice defensive things also thanks to Quillbore, and then also contributes a little bit to the damage as well. Then you might also have the question, okay, I don't have Starfall and I don't have Ritual of Rime Skeleton Body, then what am I going to do? Well, in that case, you can have Whelbex here. So then you will have the Quillbore, or this can also be an Earth Elemental. So if you have Whelbex, this could be an Earth Elemental, or it can be Quillbore. You can play with either. So then you want to drop the eggs first, so that the boss pops the eggs, and then you play the tank on the other side and closer to the boss, so that the boss will turn around and start hitting the tank. And the Whelbex will then deal damage. But then you don't have a Ritual of Rime Skeleton Body to use in your own defense, so there are some downsides to that, but the same strategy basically, if your partner has a Rime party, then you could do this with Whelbex. It will still deal less damage than Starfall, but it's actually like 15% more than with the Ritual of Rime. So yeah, whether you have Starfall or not, whether you have Rime or not, there's always some kind of solution with Jaina. But the most general purpose Jaina army is this one, with the Starfall, with the Rime skeletons. And let's go take a look at a few kills with Jaina in action. So here we go, Jaina versus Golemagg. I'm teaming up with an Arthas in open queue. And, well, Arthas typically is pretty good at controlling the lanes, which means that I should have quite a lot of time to attack. Let's see how it goes this time. It's, of course, in the open queue, you never really know what's going to happen. So here I was able to snipe that Pyromancer. So no Pyromancer. Sadly, I was a little bit too hasty, and they managed to get the Firehammer out there only after I had already played the damage spell. But now we can do the tank, and look at this. Look at that. Look at the Plague Farmer. Look at the Plague Farmer. Look at the damage going into the Firehammer. Boom, Firehammer's going down. Plague Farmer is absolutely phenomenal here. So in this build I also want to get some of these skeletons out there, because these skeletons will help me defend against those Earth Elementals. Obviously you also have to protect the skeletons somewhat, because there's the rest of them, like Firehammer can shoot at them without them being able to shoot back. And then there's also risks of Fire Elementals. Fire Elementals just going to swing and kill them all. So yeah, some issues. But skeletons are also nice. If you have two groups of skeletons, they can also take down a Molten Giant. You don't even have to tank the Molten Giant. If Molten Giant is coming at you alone and you have two groups of skeletons, then those skeletons can just kill the Molten Giant. I was a little bit too offense-minded here, maybe. I was just like, hey, Arthas, yeah, we're just going to blast. Oh, well, it's not that simple, as you can see. As you can see, now we're a little bit struggling defensively. And now I decide, okay, I can't keep attacking. And that was stuff that I missed a little bit with the Starfall. And now we're going to lose that gold as well. Okay, so I was probably a little bit too hasty. I Starfalled the boss twice already. And maybe I should have waited a little bit longer. Here I'm sending the Cobalt Miner to pick up the open chest, by the way. But it's okay, it's okay. It's going to be fine. Now the first phase happens. The Arthas push was was surprisingly successful, in fact. But of course it is going to get obliterated. And I'm just trying to... I need to drop a spell first. Kill the pyros. Yes, I realized that at the last moment. But I realized it anyway. Alright, and we're going to mine. Alright, I have a chance to drop some more Starfalls. That's good. Always try to find room to drop the Starfalls. It's even more important if you're using a build that doesn't have Starfall, because Starfall is the most DPS, meaning that Starfall can get you the furthest in overtime alone. Or of course if you have really high level minis, they can deal the damage, but always try to find opportunities. So scout the situation. What is the attack looking like? Is there something big coming? Also, like here, I had an opportunity to snipe their miner and I had an opportunity to snipe their pyromancer, both at the same time. There's still that 3 gold which they will mine eventually. But now the gold vein is not regenerating more gold because it's full, and that means that they're not going to get all that extra gold as well. Dropping some Rime skeletons here. Pop, pop. ACs go by. The fire elemental is a major threat to the skeletons. Trying to figure out where I'm needed. I need to drop the priestess, please. No, I should have dropped the priestess. Now I'm trying to protect the Arthas. I figured that losing the Arthas would really be a bad thing. Actually, it ended up fine. Barely, but it ended up fine. Now I also have to use Starfall defensively. Like, the Starfall killed 2 pyromancers there. So, it certainly did a lot of work. So, it's a difficult boss. There's a lot of this decision making going on, and I have reviewed tens of attempts of this boss, including almost 20 wins. And there's always so much decision making going on, and so many things that you could do a little bit differently. And maybe I could have won this game, maybe I could have won that game. But map awareness is really important, so do look what enemies are coming and from where. Because this is a map where enemies sometimes congregate at the top parts of the map, and then they suddenly appear at your base, and then you're overwhelmed. But if you're able to defend in depth, then you can often survive that. I messed up a little bit with the positioning on the Priestess there. And actually even playing the Priestess there was probably incorrect. Because this is really not about those ground attacks. Sometimes a ground attack just might get all the way, but usually they don't. And one of the things that I noticed myself doing is if I tried to support a ground attack real hard, then that just ended up poorly, because the ground attack didn't get the results anyway, and I just wasted gold supporting that. So I support them. I try to keep them alive for a little bit longer. Try to get their Plague Farmer again, doing a wonderful job. See, it killed 2 pyromancers. I try to keep them alive enough so that they will tie the AI's resources, and that will then give me an opportunity to get those Starfalls out there. But trying to support them so that they could get all the way to the boss, that's typically just a waste of gold. Once they get that far, then it's okay, they can die there, it's totally fine, you don't mind. Just let them go, focus on the next things that will keep the enemy occupied, and focus on getting some of those Starfalls on the boss. And this was actually really, really beautiful. Like, just look at that. Really clean kill. And I have lots of these, so let's take a look at another. This time my partner is a Sylvanas, so open queuing all the way. Let's go. So if I have a chance, I want to open with the Rime skeletons. Rime skeletons, you typically don't want to put them so far ahead that they would be ahead of your base. Then they just always get killed, or they might even pull the Drake or something. So you want to put them on the side of your base. That's the ideal position. If they're too far behind, then they just don't do anything because they won't shoot at anybody. So then they're kind of useless. they don't die. At the side they might also start dying at some point. If you put them at the back they don't die, but they also don't do anything much of the time. So there's a big difference. Anyway, here Rime skeletons, the other group could be positioned a little bit behind those if I want to get 2 groups on both sides. I can only use 1, but 2 is possible. You can do 2 on both sides, it's possible. So here I'm still defense focused. Now actually my Moonfire and then my Starfall are out of sync at the moment. No, they're in sync, sorry. No worries, no worries. It's all good. And here, getting that little bit of Moonfire, just beautiful stuff. Getting those kills. Now I'm trying to save a little bit of gold here. Now they're out of sync. But yeah, it's okay. You can get them out of sync early on. That's totally fine. Just stabilize. I sometimes like to build up some defenses. It of course also depends a lot on what things look like for your partner. If your partner is doing really well, then you might have time to do other things already. So here I ended up spending the Starfall now, without the +2 levels from the Eclipse. But I figured that would be acceptable. So with that I still got some damage to the boss. I managed to get the phase. Now, next time I do the cycle, I can do Jaina into Moonfire. I'm trying to find a caster here. Any casters? And there would be that one pyro, but that was poorly positioned. That was my bad. Although it worked out well actually because of the whelps, but I should have targeted a little bit behind so that it wouldn't pop the eggs, so they would only kill the pyromancer. But be aware of the map. I'm always scanning. Like now I'm again scanning. I was a little late. There I figured I'm trying to prevent them from mining, because mining prevention is also pretty important. I figured I have the Plague Farmer available. I can do Plague Farmer to kill the casters, and I can prevent mining, but I was a little bit too slow. So we're out of sync again. So I can't get the full +5 levels. Now I'm looking for an opportunity to play Jaina and then an opportunity to play a Starfall. It's still fine. I think the boss health was at an appropriate level where that Starfall... Is it going to... No. Now I would need to use another spell. Oh, it's okay. Again, we're letting them mine, by the way. I failed a little bit with mining person because that right side mining node, I would really love to mine that. I don't want to let them mine that. That's not good. Okay, kill some pyromancers. Maybe wasn't important. I think it wasn't. Yeah, lots of small decisions that I actually could have done better in this game. But it's still, I mean, the base is almost at full health. Our defenses are looking really solid. So I don't mind it too much. Sylvanas player with the Banshee is pretty beautiful against all of those Molten Giants. So now we're again out of sync, so I would have to use the Starfall here. Just a raw Starfall. Then I ended up also using that to kill a couple of casters. Well, it should still be fine. Now we managed to mine a little bit. A bit over 1 minute left. Okay, so the Banshee is going in. Means that I don't have to tank on that side. I'm trying to send Jaina. I'm trying to save that Molten Giant. I was a little bit late with that. Again, out of sync with the Starfall, so it doesn't deal as much damage. It deals 20% less than it would otherwise do, which means that, yeah, I should have synced those better, than we would have gotten the phase changes one Starfall sooner, twice already by now, so some mistakes were made. But overall, defensively, this has been really good. This has worked extremely well, defense-wise. Except now that Fire Elemental is going to wreck the skeleton party. I didn't have any tools to stop it. I wait for the area to go away, and then actually I decided, okay, I don't really have to defend right now. It's okay, and I can just get some attacks going. Now we're in overtime. Now everything is in sync. So I'm just looking for a caster. I found a pyromancer. I kill a pyromancer, then 5 gold, and boom, hit the boss. Boss won't die to that one yet, but now just find where do I need to defend. Drop some cheap minis out there to defend. Then Jaina. Then look for casters. I found a pyromancer. I kill the pyromancer. Look at the boss. I find the boss. And boom, boom, boom. Boss is taking damage and boss goes down. So a little bit of a slow burn there, but overall still pretty solid defensively especially. Then let's take a look at one kill without Starfall, although there is Starfall involved in this one because this is a double Jaina kill. So here we go, double Jaina. We open up with some skellies. Lake Farmer, when it has enough levels, it can draw against the pyromancer, so they will kill each other, which is sometimes really nice because it can save your Rime skeletons. So I'm just setting up the defenses early on. Here we have Rime skeletons on both sides of the base. Things are looking good. Obviously that Firehammer is going to kill those Rime skeletons if it gets the chance, but here and now, because this is the only spell I have in the deck, so I actually have the stun talent equipped. And the stun talent is beautiful sometimes, because what happens is that pyromancers, they typically don't die to the Moonfire immediate damage, they only die to the dot that it places the damage over time effect. And when you have the stun effect, then it dies during the stun, so it doesn't get to shoot while it's already like sort of dead. Mostly dead anyway, even if not completely dead. Because there's a big difference, you know, being mostly dead or fully dead. Alright, then here we go, trying to stop the fire elementals. Probably could have aimed it so that I wouldn't have popped the egg, because popping the egg was actually bad there. Now that whelp did a lot. On the other hand, it's okay, it's okay. So I have been very defense focused in this one, and my partner has been a little bit more offense minded. I haven't dealt any damage to the boss yet. My partner has already dealt almost first phase. There once again, the beauty of the Plague Farmer. And now I'm sending the Quillboar plus the Rime skeletons. I do like Earth Elemental plus skeletons or Earth Elemental plus Whelbex, but I just can't afford it. With this army, I just can't afford to have the Earth Elemental plus skeletons. That's 7 gold. That's just a little bit too much. You can more easily afford the Elemental if you're using Whelpex. But then again, then you don't have the Rime skeletons to defend, and I just found the Rime skeletons to be so crucially important for defense. I'm trying to get to that gold, by the way, because there's 3 gold. 3 gold on the side. I'd really, really need to get to that. They dropped the ghoul a little early, didn't they? So that the bandits hadn't stunned the fire elemental yet. That stun on fire, getting stun on fire elemental is possible, but it's hard. And then we go in again with the Quillboar, trying to stop the fire elemental from getting too close to Rime skeletons. Then I'm trying to catch that Firehammer, and look at the Plague Farmer. Okay, the Firehammer kills a couple of Rime skellies, but the Plague Farmer's doing beautiful things. Oh no, oh no. Here, this is a beautiful one. Look at that. The stun. They would have killed all of those Rime skeletons if it wasn't for the stun. Because they would have gotten another shot off. But thanks to the stun, both of the pyromancers just died and the Rime skeletons lived. You only really do this if you don't run Starfall, because you're losing levels on the Starfall if you run the stun talent. But it's still sweet. Obviously, you can also run the burn talent if you don't have the stun talent. Then especially if you use Sunfire on Golemagg. Because when you do it like this, then you can also try to do it so that you use the Quillbore plus Rime Skeletons to deal damage to Golemagg, but you can also use Sunfire to deal damage to Golemagg. The Sunfire deals quite a lot of damage. So that's always a potential alternative. And then of course if you have the burn talent, then you deal even more damage. Don't let them mine. No, they did get to mine once. Okay. We need to get some damage going. How's the defensive situation? Oh, Gorehound, Fire Elemental, Firehammer. I will have to defend that. I can't just leave that. So getting the Plague Farmer out there, and then look at the Plague Farmer magic. That Firehammer is so going down. Boom, it's dead. Alright, and then look at the Pyromancer. Look at the Pyromancer. Pyromancer's dead. That's the beauty of Plague Farmer. With Splashing Pumpkin's talent, it has the largest splash radius of any mini in the game. It's larger than Pyromancer with Conflagrate. By a quite considerable margin even. So it just kills things. There, I doubted too long. I was thinking what to do. I should have used the... Yeah, I should have just killed the Pyromancer, saved the Griffin Rider. Obviously the Firehammer would have killed it in a little while, but I didn't know that at that point the Firehammer wasn't there yet. Alright, defenses. I was trying to bait the Fire Elemental with the... I was trying to bait the Fire Elemental, but I failed. Kiting is... It's beautiful when it works. No, 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 don't play them there. Oopsie. Well, okay. I mean, happens. And no, 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 not the Fire Elemental, but thanks to the Quillbore, I can do actually pretty sweet defensive moves. Alright, we're under a lot of pressure here, but the defenses are holding. And partner has even been doing some attacking. So I would really need to join in the attack though, because time is starting to run out. It's overtime, and in overtime you always have to have time to attack. I've kind of already wasted 30 seconds of overtime. 30 perfectly fine seconds of overtime that I could have spent attacking already. I would need to attack. I mean, I know there's a huge chunk of minis coming, but Plague Farmer will handle it. I just need to attack. And then I need to attack some more. So Jaina plus Sunfire on Golemagg. Yes, that's exactly what I want to see. Here we go, and we have time. We can attack. It's a win. Oh, there was even some time to spare. But my partner did around 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of the damage here. So if I needed to do all the damage, I would have needed to start earlier. But anyway, that is a viable alternative if you don't have Starfall available. And that is Heroic Golemagg with Jaina. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.